before the drama starts. Lap 30, 8 laps to go. Sandobi hoping to take advantage of these lapped cars. Pilecki goes, dives on the right side, very aggressive here. This is lap 4. The two Viceroys, Bill Frazier ahead of Matt Pilecki. Frazier's off. Frazier hit the grass. You hit that tire wall, your day is done. You know, it's lap 20. The Williams still trying to get around the Terrell team as he'll go around the left car and around those at the same time. At the same time, he's got the inside corner. Will he ride the curb? Yes, he will. He will get him on the inside. Vito Maria leading us all into Moss's corner. Look at the beauty as his right side will cook the grass a little away. 180, no, a 360. Oh. Who will yield going into this corner? It's really not meant for too wide as it will be Gernot. Gernot will yield. Lots of smoke picking up from that Williams car. He is pushing it to the absolute limit. 26 of 30 now. Only 4 laps to go. He's going to get the run coming out the final corner. He's going to pull up side by side with the leader. It's going to be a drag race to the finish. Who is going to get there first? It's going to be...
The time for talking stops. The time for action is upon us. The old and the new guard have battled all season long. The reigning champion against the 14-time champion. We have seen races go in both drivers' favour, but the one that matters now is the last one. What a circuit, though, that has been chosen for the finale. You can't choose a better circuit as we head to Brazil. Nuno Moreira, Gernot Friche. The road to Interlagos on iRacing Live and the Global SimRacing channel ends here. Round 12, CTC Lotus 79 Series. Good morning, race fans, and welcome to the GSRC Countdown to Green. I am your play-by-play commentator, Mr. Hashtag Do You Mind himself, and the observer of sim racing, now with a Sperry in the bank, Jake Sperry, hoping to see another classic here this afternoon. Joining me is the Chavo to my Eddie Guerrero, Sean Crackers Ambrose. Amjad Yaman will be in the production truck once again, while the cameras have been primed and set by the Invisible Man, Dougie Beard. Sean, Interlagos is the perfect season finale, and it would be one of my two constants in any series. Interlagos goes last, and Imola goes fourth. The most beautiful blend of pace and precision. How will this masterpiece of a circuit challenge these drivers today?
Welcome to the beautiful city of Sao Paulo, Brazil. The track formerly known as Interlagos, which translated means between lakes. Now, this is Jose Carlos Pace. Today, this track renamed after him. He tragically died in a plane crash in 1970. He said, you know, they opened the facility here in 1940. Formula One was here for the first time in 1972. And it's been the steady host of the Brazilian Grand Prix since 1990. 15 turns packed into this 4.3 kilometer facility. This place has more than its fair share of twists and turns, Jake. Cidade do Lago, the Sena S section, Junção, all will be overtaking places today. A lot of elevation change here, and certainly a trade-off between top speed and high downforce will be key. But the best way to get an idea what this place is really like is to jump on board the GSRC Lotus 79 and take a trip around Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC Lotus 79, so let's do a lap around Interlagos. Coming up to turn 1, this is going to be a very popular passing spot, but the switchback can make it tricky to execute. Drivers will be defending hard from either side, so keep your head on a swivel. As you swing through Curva do Sol, straighten it out as much as you can to keep your speed up. You'll want all the momentum you can get for the decently long backstretch in order to help you defend or attack. Now you're onto the Reta Oposta, which leads into the Descida de Lago. This is another place where overtakes are likely, but as you brake for turn 4, remember the car will want to understeer on the exit, so keep that in mind when going side by side. We continue downhill and drift back across the track. Then you'll chuck it into the frighteningly fast Ferradura. There's 2 apexes and a nice little rise towards the end that will make spotting the track limits rather tricky. Before you know it, you've entered the technical back section of the circuit. Turn 8 starts off what will be a series of switchback hairpins leading you back and forth. Patience and the proper line will be critical through here, or else you'll lose gobs of time. The duckspill is definitely the slowest of these 3 bends and easily the trickiest for braking. Make sure to bring the car back across to give yourself a nice wide line through Magurlo. Then take the car all the way out to the edge and line yourself up for Juncao. This is by far the most important corner of the track. The launch you get off here will affect your lap time on this lap and the next one. You won't be lifting or braking all the way until the Senna S. Because this stretch is so long, expect drafting to play a part in the battles here. Hug the inside all the way up the hill, and if you kept it all together, you've now finished a lap around Interlagos.
And there we see, for the final time this season, the GSRC Lotus 79 taking a trip around a very, very amazing circuit. But this is round 12 of 12. Drivers have 4 drop rounds in accordance to the iRacing official point system. 2 drops for the team's championship as well. Race length, 30 laps here today. No stops for fuel with an open setup. Very, very crucial. Anyone can build a vehicle any which way they want. The instant cap, 17 instant points. This is an official iRacing session, so therefore points for the Drivers' Championship go off the official iRacing points that are there. And that Drivers' standings is so difficult to predict because Nuno Moreira currently holds the advantage at 71 points. As you'll see at the top, Ruacola in 3rd, Michel Vandenberg in 4th, Gerd Hofer in 5th. They are out of the championship picture as things stand. But there is an opportunity for Gerd Hofer to take the title, but the opportunity is slim to none at best. Nuno's highest drop gap, as you will see on the graphic, is 147 points. That is the minimum amount of points he will effectively take away from Interlagos here today, meaning Gerd Hofer needs at least 208 points to try and take the title away, and needs the driver of Moreira to slip up. In effect, win and hope it's outside top 8 for Moreira. But as we know, Sean, from 2007 and 2008 Formula 1 World Championships, never write anything off.
No, sir, never write anything off at all. I mean, bigger things in life have happened, haven't they? Boy, Journo has been so good all season, but Nuno just continues to be the dominant driver. Looking at qualifying right now, Nuno finds himself, well, there we go. Journo Frisch just goes up to 2nd behind the Preacher. Nuno sits in 3rd provisionally here in qualifying. Jake, the battle is on.
The battle is on, and I think that Gerd Hofer was hoping for a split. We were just a couple of drivers off of that 33. It's 35 for a split. But to the Constructors' Championship or the team standings, Ferrari have it all locked up, wrapped with a nice pretty bow. 65-point lead, but 2nd through 5th is what you need to pay attention to. Brabham, Shadow, John Player Special, Lotus, and McLaren all have a shot of snatching that title, or that 2nd place, sorry, away from everybody else. And I have to say, Sean, a good series is often shown by how close the team's championship is.
Yeah, and you know, if it wasn't for well, Ferrari at the top, gee, big surprise there. Boy, what a battle we really would have for that championship. But yeah, 2nd through 5th. I mean, who could complain about that? That is really when you talk about the cream rising to the top, that is, we've got all the cream right here in the top 5.
Yes, we certainly do. Qualifying is 8 minutes and 2 laps, and we're just under 2 minutes. A 2-minute warning then. Gerd Hofer on his 2nd lap. He needs about 0.3 of a second here to get to Nora Lampi, who could really play a factor here in this race, especially with the fact that he's not part of the CTC Championship for this year. Hofer to the line, 25 flat. Does not improve on his lap time. What about Mr. Classics, though? Ove Trengere currently in position number 9. He will not set a lap time that will go quicker, nor will Antti Lepisto. The only other 2 drivers who are out there on laps right now are John Stevens and Bristolian Barry West. Barry West with a great qualifying, by the way. He's up in position number 11, Sean. And this is a 33 vehicle field. Barry West is showing that he can scrap it here today.
Tell you what, he's on this 2nd burner right now. Let's see what he can do. But that was a hot opening lap right there within about a second of the leaders here on the grid. And boy, Barry really digging right now to try and get a better one in here.
Well, he's really digging. He's looking for something, as is John Stevens, who's currently down in position number 18 on a 126.412. That puts him on the 9th row of the grid on the outside with Peter Konechny just in front. So we'll see what John Stevens can do as he makes his push to the line here. He's got not long to go as he heads through the Archibancadas. This left-hand small kink before the pit road across the line. 26 flat, he does improve. He goes to 15th. Barry West will not have his lap time count. That is pretty much everybody on a lap done. I don't see Nora Lampe going quicker. I don't see Gerd Hofer going quicker. The field then, provisionally, is as follows. Juha Nora Lampe then, the preacher, preaches himself to pole position, and you have to wonder if he was going to get himself into the CTC Championship, where would he be in the standings? Gernot Friche, title contender on the front row, but crucially, title and championship leader is right there in position number 3. Antti Lepisto in 4th with Matt Wood. Again, another solid qualifying in 5th position. Kai Ruokola 6th. The Welshman Clear Hughes in 7th. Steve Bycroft 8th. Mr. Classics in Ove Trengrade in 9th. And Gerd Hofer, the heir apparent to Gernot Friche, starts 10th.
All right, and starting 11th is going to be Barry West, right alongside Tobias Gerber. Row 7, Pablo Suarez and Adam Frazier. Row 8, John Stevens and Mark Pickford. Row 9, Mark Winfield, Peter Konechny. Row 10 will be Martin Blaze and Paolo Albertin.
I'll take the rest from here then. Thorsten Cowell will start 21st and double deucer. Keith Herner, Steve Sarles there in 23rd with Robert Simpkins. Oliver Farley and Tony Teolis there with Fabio Guerrero and Daniele Cattuso there in row 13. Row 14, you're seeing Todd Herner. You're seeing the likes of Daniel Banker there. Adnan Dizdarovic in the number 30 position, or 31 position, sorry, with Francois Garnier and Robert Cottle rounding out 33. But it's a very interesting grid that you have here because there is two differences. You get the drivers like John Stevens, Mark Pickford. They're coming off of a downslope to get their start going. They're going to get a much better run than those in front of them, the likes of Adam Frazier, Pablo Lumbueras, who have an uphill start to their gridding process, and that's going to be crucial as well, especially with the fact that the front 2 rows remain relatively untouched is the right wording for it, as they all line up behind the finish line, instead of the front 2 rows of the grid. So Nora Lampe, Nuno Moreira there, the championship leader, cannot afford to crash out of this event at any given stage. He will just be wanting a clean start out of this one. No fast repair either. So that's going to mean that if you break it, you certainly have brought it. But everybody now on the grid. Engine notes rise to the final time this season. Interlagos is underway. Good start there from Nora Lampe. He gets the jump that he was looking for. Friche maybe under a little bit of pressure now from the driver Moreira. Antti Lepisto thought about going to the inside. That's not going to work as they file in. And look at that. Moreira very crucially gets the jump on Gernot Friche, who doesn't have anything to respond, but will have the Desquita del Lago to go and try and make something happen. It's all clean a little bit further back, but now you're seeing this too wide. The battle for the championship. Friche thought about going to the inside. They hold it side by side through the Desquita del Lago, and Moreira's got the jump.
Thorsten Call and Steve Searles got offline going into turn 1, and they got off track. That was the casualty there at the start.
Well, that's not ideal, but apart from that, everything seems pretty plain sailing at this stage of the events. They now head into the infield section for the very first time. Nora Lampe already out to a gap over a second over Moreira. I'm pretty sure that the victory will be nice for Moreira, but I don't think it will be top priority here today. Friche in 3rd, Lepisto, Wood, Ruokola, Hughes, Hofer. Hofer actually getting a very good start there in the number 6 machine as we just looked a little bit further back. He's already got past Ove Trengrade, who didn't have the best of starts today, Sean.
No, not a good start for Ove, but a busy weekend for him, but he still hangs on a 9th.
He still hangs on, but he's got a little bit longer. In fact, Steve Bycroft had an even worse start as they now head out of Junsao, up then through the Desquita boxes, through the left of the Archibancadas, and 1 lap score complete then out of 30. And it's going to be about how you negotiate that high-speed section, because you need the downforce, Sean, to really help yourself through the middle part of the sector of the lap. That's where you get most of your pace. But if you don't have a top speed, you're not going to make any overtakes here.
Trouble in turn 1 between Frazier and who was that? That was Frazier and Tobias Gerber get hooked up. Going into turn 1, Jake.
Oh, that's not brilliant. That's not ideal. In fact, there was more contact a little bit further behind that as well. That was a dive from Frazier. He missed his braking point into turn number 1, and Tobias Gerber was trying to get himself down to the inside. I thought he could up and under it. In the end, he really couldn't. And Adam Fraser, who's now really struggling behind Daniel Banker now, and you've got side by side there Oliver Farley going at it now with Tony Teolis.
Teolis thinks better of it, backs out. Jake does not risk it there with Farley.
Nope, he does not want the chocolate biscuit. That much we can definitely say in this situation. So Tony Teolis loses the position, but he's playing the long game, I think. He doesn't want to be involved in any real sort of battle, any real sort of incident that's going to put him under pressure. Clear Hughes, though, a man under pressure. He's got Gert Hofer just behind him. And Clear Hughes, the Welshman, he has struggled this season. I think he's only had, what, 1 top 10, 2 top 10s all season long? He needs something to really spark this season to head into the next, Sean.
Yeah, and his race a couple hours ago here at Interlagos, Jake, ended on the opening lap. So looking for a little bit better here in the broadcasted race today, and he hangs on to it, keeps Jared.
Morera's around at the curve of the Sol. Unbelievable. Just gets caught up on the curb. He lost the position to Jono Friche, and he's taking forever to try and get himself back going again. Yikes. And that could be the costly mistake that costs the championship for Nuno Morera. Unbelievable. Wow. Replay
speechless.
on screen. And you're going to see it. He gets caught on the outside curve, Sean, just trying to be too greedy on the power. There's a bit of AstroTurf, a small slither of grass, and that was enough to spin him. He is now down behind Thorsten Kahl. Big dive to the inside. There's contact. He's being too greedy now.
More trouble with Adam Fraser, and now Nuno's around again. Wow. We'll get everything caught up here, but boy, just big trouble for Nuno. Finds himself now back in 25th, Jake. Can he recover from there? I mean, come on.
I mean, let's be honest. Coming back from 25th is no mean feat. He's very far down the order. The only thing that will help him is the fact that he has drop points and that Jono Friche is not able to close on Nora Lampe. So this is where we have to start trying to get the calculators out. Friche gets the big wiggle. Holds it together, but look at this. This allows Antti Lepisto the opportunity now. Going to go to the outside of the Desquita de Lago to try and take this move. And Jono Friche, well, he had the initiative, and now the initiative almost gone. Side by side, they will stay now to Ferradura, the horseshoe right-hander.
Jono fighting back hard here. Getting a lot of Rinya. Yeah, he's pulling away. That was a really good battle back to get in front and get a little space there, get some of the pressure off.
And let's be clear here. The track temperature today is hot. It's not necessarily going to be an oversteer. It's track 106 degrees Fahrenheit. That's going to be massive for a lot of drivers. They've been struggling on those tyres, and I wonder whether it's been the fact that they're trying to go for a low downforce setup to try and really maximise the straight, Sean, that is really making them struggle through the likes of the Curva de Sol, which is a very fast, high downforce dependent left-hander.
If I remember correctly, Jono is notorious for running a lower downforce set, Jake, so we may see him struggle again, yes?
Certainly could do. So Jono Friche, now the gap to Nora Lampe is 4.6 seconds out on circuit. The battle for third, Lepisto, Wood, and Ruacola. Wood having a very good run of things so far. We call him the Mark Webber of the CTC because he always gets a great qualifying, but the race doesn't always go that way. Nuno Morera is on pit road. I think his day is pretty much done, Sean.
He's still sitting there. Yeah.
Out.
Now a minute.
Out. If that's the only thing you can say, out. That is Nuno Morera. He is out of the event, and it relies now on Jono Friche finding the points needed. And we talk about this one split. 2 drivers, right? It sounds like it's perfect. You've got more drivers you can put in between one driver and the other. Sean, it goes against it in iRacing terms because of the fact a split would have meant there's less drivers, there is more higher iRacing drivers, and as such, more iRacing points would have been offered.
You can't argue with the math, Jake. Generally at GSRC, we can't get the math right, but you can't argue with that math at all. Hey, listen, this battle on screen right now, Laird Hughes right now really trying to be defensive here with Jared Hofer. Now Hofer really has him. I think he's going to slingshot to the outside. He is. Now, can he win this drag race all the way down into turn one? We'll see. He's going to have to do it from the outside.
It's going to be a brave move, and I think he just about gets it sorted. Hughes will now go for the up and under at the second part of the Center S. Curva de Sol time. This is where we've seen the drivers have issues on the outside of this corner. No such issues for both drivers, and it's a clean move then from Jared Hofer. He moves up into position number 6 out on circuit, but Hughes had a mini look back there, just showing the nose. I could come back at you if I wanted to, but now Trengarade and Bycroft on the train, and now looking to try and get on the train, Pablo Lumbueras, John Stevens, and Barry West.
Yeah, the top 12 have really done a good job of actually staying in touch here. This not a runaway up front here, maybe at the very front of the field. And man, I'm still surprised that Jarno just doesn't have a little bit more urgency, or maybe, you know, I say he needs more urgency. Of course he does. He knows that. He just can't seem to find the pace to catch Nuha.
Yeah, that's going to be the problem. If you can't find the pace, then it doesn't matter how much you try. Juha Noralampi was the man who was going to try and challenge Moreira for the title last season. Didn't quite happen for him. He was agonizingly close to taking that title, but in the 11th hour, Moreira stole it. Pablo Lumbueras then versus John Stevens. Stevens really close then, trying to use that draft, try and pull himself through the Archibancadas and start lap 7 then, out of 30. Closing, not close enough, but look behind. Barry West was trying to get in a little bit on the action, a little bit wide from Lumbueras. He starts making the mistakes. He's compromised now through turn number 2, and Barry West now waits, but he knows that the double draft is not that strong.
And Barry West is looking at a top 10 here. He just hang on to this thing and be here at the end in the last 5 laps, man. He has got a great chance at a great finish to this season.
Chance is certainly there. You can't argue with that flaw of logic. You know how much it means. Look at this now. Stevens thinking about the outside, thinking now about the inside. Gets the dummy down at Ferradura. Oh, that's beautiful. But look at this. Up and under from Pablo Lumbueras. He gets the inside for the Laranjina. And then for the Mejulio, it's going to be Lumbueras. That's a great little trade-off there. Brilliant driving from Lumbueras. The insight, the wherewithal to go for the up and under. Big dive from Stevens. Very un-Stevens-like. Oh, he tried, and he gets it sorted. Wow.
Suarez reeling right now from that. Oh, watch out. Barry West almost getting a piece of that. Oh, no, West is off to the right.
And that's just the fine margins that you find there at Junsao. It's so easy to run just a wheel wide, 2 wheels wide. And look at that, the run all the way to turn number 1 is gone. The draft is gone now for Barry West. He will now be starting to think about Pickford and Konechny behind 13th and 14th. Side by side again, though. Lumbueras was trying to go to the outside. That one not going to happen, though. But again, he'll be looking for that cutback through this next right-hander. That one not happening as much as we thought. And that's a little bit disappointing, but you are still seeing, though, just how strong the field can be up and down this grid.
Jake Nuno Moreira has officially taken his car behind the wall.
That's a shame. That is a real shame. I think that if Nuno Moreira wanted to take the title, he would want to take the title by finishing the event. We don't know if he's taken the title, though. That's the crucial point of contention, because we've got a certain number 1 driver looking to try and make that happen in his favour. The battle for P3, though, that's still going on. Antti Lepisto, Matt Wood, Kaya Rucola. It's a Finnish sandwich with a British filling in the middle. And Matt Wood right now in the number 8 machine. He now has to work. He has to work to get onto that podium. Antti Lepisto is the driver next, but as we know, Antti Lepisto very rarely makes a mistake.
True. Very rarely does make a mistake, and if you're waiting on that, you're going to be waiting a long, long time. Hats off to Matt Wood, though, having a great drive here. And, you know, this is a battle we've really not even talked about yet, Jake, and they've been at it since the green flag dropped.
They have, and it's been almost like formation racing, some may argue. It's been the fact that they have been very much stuck in their own little world. They've been unable to get close enough to make the overtakes. They've been stuck at 4 and 6/10 of a second gaps, respectively. They haven't been able to really close, and that's just a testament to how quick these drivers are going. Matt Wood takes a slightly different line there through the first part of the Interlagos. It costs him a little bit of time there, Sean, but it's a safer route. It opens up the corner on the exit, means you have less chance of going wide, putting the power down and spinning the vehicle. Meanwhile, whilst that battle's going on, Leah Hughes becomes a man under pressure. Then Ove Trengarade on the rear, Steve Bycroft now on the rear. We know that Steve Bycroft is one of the most patient drivers in this field. We know that Ove Trengarade likes taking positions. Mr. Classics wants some points, and he wants to go and score some big ones. And of course, he also gets more than just this by finishing in 8th position. He's currently holding a few spareys to his name too. It seems that we have lost a Sean Ambrose for the time being, so we'll keep an eye on this one. The battle for P20 going out there as well. Oliver Farley and Thorsten Kahl. We've seen Kahl get involved in incidents already. We've seen also Oliver Farley lose that position, actually, over the last lap or so, as we've also lost Michel Vandenberg from the field as well. So a lot of big names. We actually had Michel Vandenberg just watching this one. Sorry, my bad. So we had a few issues, but now look at this. Matt Wood. Let's go to position number 4, because now here comes Kaya Ruokola thinking about this move. Ruokola, like an assassin, he scores his points when you don't normally see him racing. And this season, he has been incredibly close to that championship, but once again, close, but no cigars for Ruokola. He's been there, he's been hoping, he's been waiting, but Matt Wood at this stage, he's just playing the game that he needs to just keep himself out of trouble, and there shouldn't be too much to worry about a little bit later on in this event. The lap times between them, 26 flat, 26.3, 26.3, 25.5 for Journo Fritzsche last time by a 25.8 for Juha Noralampi. So Noralampi has got that gap at about 5.2, 5.3 seconds. That's all it needs to be at this stage. It doesn't matter if it's a second or if it's 10 seconds. A win is still a win. Good run, though, out of the corner here from Kaya Ruokola. Ruokola knows what's important. He needs to get this run up the hill, Sean. And now heading through Archibankadas. Is there a chance for a move?
Maybe. He's just close enough. Let's see. He's trying to reel him in here. You know, it's just a total opposite of last season for Kaya Ruokola, to be honest with you here this year. Battling for a championship last year, and this season just seems to just be hanging on to be relevant every week. But good race here so far, and good battle here with Matt Wood, but not close enough up that front straightaway to make a difference.
No, not close
Gonna
enough
have
just
to
yet.
wait again.
Yeah, has to have that weight. Trengarade then having a look with Leah Hughes. He's not going to be close enough either in this battle. A little bit further back. Side by side, though, John Stevens and Pablo Lumbueras. Guess who again? These two, you can't separate them on the outside. A little bit of a wiggle on the inside there from the driver of Stevens, and almost a little bit of contact front to rear there. Just enough for Stevens to make his way through. Now look at Barry West trying to play the aggressive line. Big chop of the nose in through Ferradura. Almost runs incredibly too wide there. Just John Stevens. He somehow slows that vehicle up. He missed his braking point, and he almost took Suarez with him.
Still positions being challenged for and taken in the back of the field, Jake. Adnan Distardvec just got around Tony Tiolas and made a quick work of it in Curva de Sol. These two have been at it for a little bit, and Adnan now starting to move forward here. He's got about 4 seconds to catch Fabio Guerrero.
He does, so Dizdarovic has made that move. Tony Tiolis loses another position. He seems to be the man that whenever you go and look at him, he's losing a couple more positions here and there. Mark Pickford, though, let's go up further through the field. Position 13, Mark Pickford versus Peter Konechny. He had this battle going on then for what is the lower half of the top 15. The final places in the top 15. Konechny did a 27.3 that last time by 2/10 out of Mark Pickford. Not close enough to make the run into turn number 1, but both of them have to be careful. Martin Blaze is waiting.
Yeah, there's a name we haven't talked about. We haven't talked about Martin today. Kind of just all in the middle of it there.
kind of all in the middle of it, trying to find himself, you know, an opportunity to try and get some places forward. He is +4 for the day, so he is having a pretty good run of things right now. Suarez again, just weaving behind John Stevens. He's desperate to find a way through. He's using everything in the great big book of overtakes, and right now you may need to try and write a new chapter. And I believe that we've just seen Kaya Rucola go through on Matt Wood. That one has happened earlier on. Oh my goodness me. That was really big at the curve of the soul. Matt Wood gets a big slide on, and it has to be Kaya Rucola around the outside. Had to take to the AstroTurf and the grass to try and make that move. So he gets the move done, but Matt Wood, oh, he will not be happy about that shot.
Well, he got very lucky to not make any contact there. He gets off all the way almost down into that Armco barrier. Man, he just misses it.
Well, this is the replay on board, and it reminds you a little bit of 2001, Nick Highfield hitting the safety car, the sort of way that it was down on that inside, and he just tries and gets that power. He's just got that tire on the curb, and, you know, there's that difference in grip levels between the curb and the track, and you try and straight line the curbs as much as you can, but it was so easy there, Sean, you'd have to say for him to just lose that little bit of grip, especially with the big, massive, chunky rear tires.
Well, rather than jam on the brakes, obviously he did the smart thing of just getting out of the throttle all the way out of it, and it hasn't cost him that much. He's kept himself right there under the wing of Kaya Rucola.
Very crucial, that fact that he's still there. He's still got that opportunity. It does mean that Finland holds 3 of the top 4 positions right now, so they will be very satisfied with the way that things are going. John Stevens has lost the position to Pablo Lumbueras. Now Barry West starts thinking about, how do I start lining up that move? Wide line taken then into the Bico de Pato, the sharpest corner out on the circuit and the slowest. So John Stevens now, you know, he's been aggressive. He's been the aggressor. And as we know, he has this opportunity that he needs to go and attack this one. But he does still have the draft from Lumbueras. He'll be very happy about that in terms of his defense against Barry West.
It's a really good pack here. Not just this one, but the one right behind him is still a great race here with Pickford, Knesny, and Martin Blaze all chasing Tobias Gerber.
And there's a name that we haven't really talked about much, Tobias Gerber. He is in that championship little scrap going on, and his teammate and his brother Fabian not here today, so it's down to Tobias to score the points, and he's there in position 16. He's -4 for the day. He needs to get up through the field. It's not been happening as of yet, so it's going to be a bit of a waiting game. It's going to be a, how do I make this move? When do I make this move? Ove Trengere just in front. Let's look up a little bit further, because Steve Bycroft now is really sitting and waiting for that opportunity. And I think he's waiting for the driver of Clear Hughes to break that 1 second window before he can pounce.
Bycroft being very calculated about this. Still plenty of time here left, Jake. We've just now hit the halfway point. If you can't get all the way to the front, and what you're looking at is maybe a couple of positions, best to just be patient here and try not to lose any ground. There's still 15 laps to go. Plenty of time to sort this out.
Talk about patience, Sean. Number 25 machine. Have a look at this. This is Paolo Alberton against Keith Herner in the 21. Both of these drivers are +3 and +4 respectively. They've made good positions through this field. Keith Herner's trying everything to keep with Alberton. He gained ½ a second on the last lap, and on this lap, he gains not much, I wouldn't have thought. 27.9. He actually loses 0.3 of a second.
Jake, I'm sorry, but John Stevens just passed Barry West going down into turn 1. Yeah, we got a replay of it coming down into turn 1.
Oh, well, that wasn't a pass, but more rather a defend there, Sean, because you saw Barry West picks up the draft. He got to the outside, so good defensive driving there from John Stevens. Barry West had the vehicle in front, but much later on the brakes there was John Stevens, and a big little drift that he had, which held up Barry West there through that next section, unable to make the move back. Oh, Knesny off. Oh, that's scary. That's Ferradura. That's not a place you want to have an off. And Sean, you look at that instant there, heads through the left, he's losing it on turn in, big snap of oversteer, and he's lucky that he's not hit the fence.
and he had just gotten passed by Peter Blaze. He had just finished a battle with Blaze that he lost, and then loses a little more there, man.
Martin Blaze, I would have thought, not Peter Blaze. But
did I say Peter?
But Martin Blaze now, he gains that position. He's now on the back of Mark Pickford, and crucially, Barry West is not in the draft range. So now you think, can Martin Blaze start making positions up through the field? He's up to 14th. He wants to go +6 and get his way past this next driver of what is going to be Mark Pickford on the brakes into turn number 1. No opportunity to make that move just yet.
Yeah, follow Pickford. That's the way. Follow him. Follow him.
Follow him, and we're seeing also the battle 3rd, 4th, 5th. We're seeing Matt Wood now almost fall off a second off of the back of this one. They're starting to string out a little bit here, and also you're seeing Ruicola almost out of a second in comparison to Antti Lepisto. They're starting to fragment here as the second half of this race now starts to come into full view.
Yeah, but Antti still hasn't made a mistake, Jake.
Very crucial. We haven't talked much at the front of the field. It's Juhan Oralampi who leads this one, and leads this one good. 5.4 seconds over Jerno Friche. And, well, Jerno Friche, second position, may just be enough. The question is, though, will it be enough? We don't know. It will be very difficult for us to know. But we do know that Jerno Friche is a man who does like to push, but the gap's 5.5 seconds, and I don't see how this one is going to fall back into his favor.
Juha maybe has trouble with traffic as he passes his first bit of it now. He's coming up on more. It's something bad's gonna have to happen for Juha at this point.
And the battle just in front is Steve Sarles versus Francois Gagne. We haven't paid too much attention to this one for 26th and 27th out on circuit. Both of them a little bit slow, big wide line, and that was a big missed apex there from Steve Sarles. I think he was desperate to let through Nora Lampe and try and get himself back going through again. Daniele Gattuso will be thinking about making that move soon as well. Gagne gets out of the way nicely as well for Nora Lampe. So 3 vehicles now in between him and Friche, and crucially hasn't had to alter his line at any given stage during that section there, Sean.
I was expecting a hip check there from the Canadian as he got by, but no, everything good.
Everything good over Trengarade, though.
The hockey
Keep an eye on
reference.
this. We got 8th position versus 7th, and you're seeing Clear Hughes so close right now to being overtaken in through Junsao, the junction. Left-hander, 90 degree up the hill now you start heading. There's a small little chicane here that isn't really used. That's the motorcycle chicane. I think it's the most pointless chicane in all of racing that you will ever see. Ove Trengarade, though, he is unable to close in the draft, and that is fascinating here, Sean.
Yeah, not sure why either. I am, when I have a clue, I have an idea. Maybe something there on the setup. Maybe gears. Not enough top end, not enough low end grunt there to get it done.
Yeah, that certainly could be the way. 162 miles an hour as he hits the brakes into the left-hander. No opportunities to make that move. He'll sit and he'll wait side by side as Ruicola and Todd Herner go at it. Todd Herner, of course, 1 lap down, gets out of the way for Kaya Ruicola and does a very good job of getting out of the way of things. So no real harm, no real foul in that situation. That was some good heads-up driving as we still see the likes of Tobias Gerber, Martin Blaze. Then in this scrap, they're starting to lose Mark Pickford a little bit, though, and that's going to be a little bit worrying as Pickford has found the back of Barry West. That's Pickford's pace, not Blaze's.
Just an observation. The traffic has kept Journo close. It's still 5.2 seconds, Jake. Not the preacher, not exactly running away as he's driving through this traffic.
Now 5.1 seconds, so the gap is slowly coming down as we head into towards the final third of this race. Just 12 laps to go in the CTC season, and Jerno Friche has Francois Gagne to get past here. Goes to the outside, little bit of wiggle as the aero loose comes into play. The dirty air effect there was tracking out Friche wide, but he gets himself through. No real losses there in that section of the road, so he'll be very happy at that situation. But we have to keep looking at this battle here because Barry West becomes the man under pressure. It's West versus Pickford, 18 versus 12. UK and I versus UK and I. So Pickford, he's just got to get within that 1 second window, and then he's just got to close in lap on lap. It was a 27 flat meets a 27 flat. They were dead even on the last time by.
Love seeing these battles. Tell you what, Lotus 79, always some of the greatest racing we see all week here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Ove Trengrade still getting after Lear Hughes.
Still trying, but
yeah, he's still trying.
Still trying, but he's not quite there. We have a little bit of side-by-side as Paolo Alberton was trying to get back there at Keith Herner, who's made his way through in the number 21 machine, currently in position 16. I think Keith Herner has to be a very happy man after making that move. Alberton did not have much to respond with.
Yeah, got to be careful not to get my Herners mixed up today. We've got them all over the field. Keith here in 16th and Todd all the way back at 29th.
Well, you have to be careful about your Herners. I hope you don't get a hernia trying to talk about the Herners. That's something that you have to be maybe a little bit concerned about. Lear Hughes, Ove Trengrade then. They're still there. They're still in this little scrap together. And you're seeing here the run off the exit again. Ove Trengrade unable to really attack this course. Really unable to attack Lear Hughes, who's just kept him at bay. Todd Herner needs to get through. Big dive to the inside. That was scary there from Lear Hughes. He now gets a vehicle in between himself, only for the shortest of moments.
You know, they're awful close to getting intertwined in this battle with Pickford and Barry West. I actually think, yeah, I'm looking at the timing, and it certainly looks like Blaze is starting to pick this up here.
Yeah, Blaze is starting to try and find some pace. 26.9 that last time by, 4/10 on Mark Pickford, and Pickford is stuck behind Barry West. He's hit that sort of dirty air effect where he can't really close down as much as he'd like to, Sean. And it's that effect that really does make a struggle. And Journo Friche again takes another 1/10 of a second out of Nora Lampe. The gap psychologically comes down under 5 seconds for the first time in about 15 laps.
I'm surprised that we haven't talked about that more at this point, and how difficult it is to turn this car when you're in somebody's dirty air like that. And obviously there's so many technical sections to this course it's been trouble all day, and that's probably why, you know, we've seen the trouble from Ove Trengrade up front, having to try and pass Lear Hughes, and his inability to do that has everything to do with that.
It certainly does, as Paolo Alberton is now starting to get caught now by Peter Konechny, now in this battle for what is position 17 out on circuit. Alberton was dropped then by Keith Herner, and suddenly Konechny has some pace, and Alberton does not. 28.1 that last time by, meet the 26.9, down to the inside attempt, not gonna happen. He thought about it, the door was always left open, and looking at Paolo Alberton's machine, if I just have a little twinge at it, it seems fine. So it's just a lack of consistency value that's coming into play now for Alberton. Here comes Konechny again. Oh, and Konechny loses out there. Down to the inside goes Mark Winfield, the teammate, of course, of Matt Wood. Crucial for the Constructors' Championship. A point, a very crucial point. That will give and more points there, Sean, for what is second position overall. It makes it more safe.
Cushion, Jake, cushion.
Yes, a very nice plump cushion. I think they've tried to find, and they have found. So they'll be very crucial at that. Journo Friche, though, 125.3. It is time. That was a 10th off of his fastest lap in the event so far. He is now got that gap down to 4.6 seconds, and Juha has a double bit of traffic in the next few laps. Dizdarovic and Guerrero in their own scrap. This for P23, P24 on circuit.
Yeah, as we talk about cushions, Juha's is starting to get a little thinner. It's getting a little thin in the seat here.
He sat on it for a bit too long, I think, there, Sean. I think that's what we've looked at.
Well, it'll be up to the traffic. How they handle him when he comes through will be the big difference here.
Oh, yes, it certainly will. As we've still got that three-car scrapper lap down. Teolis, Gattuso, and Gagne all there. And they've got Gerd Hofer trying to make his way through on all of it. But it's these battles a lap down that sometimes, you know, people do get frustrated about. But they have every right to go and fight and scrap out for position, even if there's lap traffic behind them.
And there has actually been no lack of passing here today. In fact, Dizdarovich just gets around Fabio Guerrero a moment ago. Daniel Banker and Oliver Farley are still out there fighting, switching positions every now and then.
Wow. Look at the gap, though. It was a 26.9 from Nuno Moreira. Not Nuno Moreira, sorry, Juha Noralampi. I've done it the same way that you have. That was a slow lap from Noralampi. He made a mistake somewhere out there. So we'll just have a look at where he has gone and made that mistake. Oh, it was at the Laranjina, I think it was. So he gets on the brakes, out of Ferradura, gets a big slide through one corner, heads into the next right-hander, and he just gets that rear. Oh, he gets a big tank slapper. You have to be careful, but let's go back to Matt Wood right now because he's run into trouble as well. You got a better eye than I did.
It just looks like he might have clipped a little bit of the curb. He did. He got high on that curb. Maybe back to the power a little bit too quick, Jake, but it spins him around. And boy, Lear Hughes now closing in.
Now closing in. I don't think it was the curb, though, Sean, that we were looking at. If I take a second look at it, it may have been... Oh, it just about was. He got a rear tyre ever so slightly on the grass on the outside before he got himself that opportunity to move a bit further forward. I think that was what spun him around more rather than him getting on the curb on the inside. So now Matt Wood has to worry about the Welshman Lear Hughes, has to worry about Ove Trengerade as well, which has meant that Gerd Hofer has made his way through up into the top 5. Gap, though, down again. Journo Friche applying a lot of mental pressure on Noralampi. The gap's down. It's 2.6.
Behind them, Jake, Cairo Cola is making mistakes. Lepisto starting to pull away.
And crucially enough, that one for the final spot on the podium. The gap now comes up between them 1.5 seconds. I think Ruicola doesn't have much left to fight back with. It's sort of a petering out of a storm, shall you say, in this situation. Wood versus Hughes, though. Hughes suddenly within a couple of tenths.
This is going to be a great finish. 6.5 laps to go here, Jake.
Well, 6.5 laps. We've shown that anything is possible, and anything that does happen normally does, and usually does as well. Mark Winfield versus Peter Konechny still going on in front, with Paolo Alberton picking up the pace once again. Train now of 4. Here comes Konechny down to the inside, looking for it. No, and Gerber as well, also side by side. So 2 battles on the same bit of real estate. Gerber still down onto the inside of Barry West. He's got the chance here if he has it, but the outside then turns to the inside for the Bico de Pato. I think Barry West just about holds on to it for the time being.
They just almost twisted up a couple race cars there. Did a great job of limiting that to what it was, a great side-by-side battle. That could have been a great wreck, and it turned out on the other side. Really, really strong performance there by Barry West.
And the question about Thorsten Kahl now comes into play. Did he have an issue of some sort of kind? He has been involved in a few incidents here today. I would not be surprised if that is incident number 17. Down to the inside, there was contact, I do believe, so that could be. Yeah, there was a little bit of contact front to rear. That's enough, I think, to hit the 17-point incident limit, Sean. I think that's day done.
We're going to see here in just a moment. That is day done. Yep.
It goes to show you've got to be really careful and consistent when it comes to your instant points. You can't afford to really make mistakes in that sort of area. So he pays the price. He will not finish this event, and he will lose a lot of safety rating after this event as well. So that's something just to keep in mind. The gap at the front, though, keep an eye on this one. Journo Friche, the gap had abstained. It's still at 2.6 seconds.
Oh, and Journo goes purple.
They both did. That's the big thing. Noralampi did a 25-1. Journo Friche said, no, I'll go 25-1, and a better 25-1 at that. They are pushing for the win. Journo has nothing to lose in this situation. So does Juha Noralampi. Remember, Noralampi's racing just for the win. Friche's racing for the title.
This is great. We could not have scripted this, Jake.
We could not, but it now all depends on the bottle of a few drivers. Ove Trengrade and Lear Hughes, the story that's been brewing all day long, how Ove Trengrade can't make a move and still can't make a move into the Desquita del Lago. He has to sit, he has to play waiting games once more, and he must be so frustrated at the fact that he can't make a move to save his soul.
Almost sounds like a good blues song.
What, couldn't make an overtake to save his soul? Oh, that would be a very good song that we could make. Get the GSRC band sorted up. I'm on vocals. Journo Friche, though, still looking to try and close Nora Lampe, but I think that gap's extended here on this lap. It's a 25 flat from Nora Lampe. It's only a 25 fall from Friche. The gap comes up over 3 seconds. We've got ourselves 4 laps to go, and I have to say that the rate that Nora Lampe's pushing, it may just have to be Nora Lampe pushes too hard for this race to come over. There is lap traffic, though, in the form of Steve Sarles. I think they may catch Farley and they may catch Banker before the end of this event.
Yeah, they won't get into the thick of it, so they should be in good shape. I don't know that traffic is going to be the factor here that determines this race. At least I hope not. As the leader comes around.
We certainly hope not, and you can see very gingerly out of the way goes Steve Sarles, and he's going to stay on that outside and let Journo Friche through. No chance of getting involved in that one. Friche's got to do it all on his own, and this is the thing here with the CTC. They have arguably the best lap traffic you will ever see in sim racing.
It's true, Jake. You're not mistaken there, and that was a perfect example of it. You know, the situational awareness by the lap traffic is incredible.
It is absolutely fantastic. Nora Lampe up the hill then, heading through the Desquita dos Boxes, this left-hander. The Arquibancadas left-hander coming up. So you're seeing Nora Lampe, you're seeing Friche. It's pretty much yin and yang at this stage. And it is a 25.7. It's a lot slower from Nora Lampe this time by. The gap, though, comes down 0.3 of a second. Friche is consistent now, so it's not over. It's 3 laps to go, but now it's got to be at a rate of 0.8 of a second a lap, and I don't see that happening.
Yeah, these are not monumental gains. They're minor gains, Jake, and we need to see a second or 2 seconds knocked off, right, for something to really, really happen here.
Oh, yes, we do. We still have battles up and down the field. What about this one? Todd Herner gets out of the way. Alberton, Konechny, and Winfield all there. Let's not forget here that Konechny's in the John Player Special Lotus. He needs to stay ahead right now of Mark Winfield, especially knowing the fact that he's got his teammate Kyra Rucola in position number 4, 2 positions ahead of Matt Wood. John Player Special doing well. And Matt Wood, speaking of devil, he's turned around.
All by himself, too. Wow.
Guess where? Turn 3, Curva de Sol on the exit again. Replay on screen, heavy on the curb. Round he goes, hits the Armco, and that is day done for Matt Wood on a disappointing season.
Can't drive the car either. He's going to have to tow in, Jake. He binned it.
He binned it indeed as Friche starts to really attack that Junsao corner. Had to really wait to put that power down. That could have just cost him a shot at overall victory. Nora Lampe comes across the line. 2 laps to go at Interlagos. 25.3 that last time by. Friche 25.5. The gap opens. It's 2.9 seconds. I think now Nora Lampe can start dialing it down a little bit and hope that he is safe to the end. And John Stevens runs into issues.
Jeez.
Again, all on his lonesome there, Sean. Coming out of that right-hander, trying to put the power down. Vickles having none of it. Snap oversteer.
Oh, and then it has trouble when he gets back on track.
And that's Tobias Gerber and Barry West just in front that he's lost the position to. And Barry West runs wide, and hello, opportunity knocks here. Tobias Gerber's got a shot.
Well, that's what happened is he made a little bit of contact with Barry West. It slowed Barry down as Barry was coming through there. Now Barry is really under threat here from Gerber.
And this one going on then for P12 and 11 out on circuit to the outside. Tries the McLaren driver, needing points for constructors. Gets the inside, but doesn't have the run. Barry West gets it around the outside. Now it's a look for the inside for Tobias Gerber as he looks then at the Desquita del Lago. Instant defensive line taken by Barry West. He wants none of it. on that inside of Tobias Gerber. Gerber's got to go like Charlie Borman the long way round. And he will at the first part of the Interlagos. Gets caught up on the curb on the exit. And John Stevens now will push it side by side. And they almost contact. Oh my goodness me. Tobias Gerber wanted none of John Stevens going through, but that doesn't matter. John Stevens was having none of Tobias Gerber's antics. That stays the way it does. The white flag is out, though, on the CTC season, and Juhan Orlampi has 2.9 seconds of a gap to hold on to in the final lap of this event. Journo Friche in second position. Is that enough for the title? We don't have the maths to say if it's yes or if it is no just yet. We will try and get that to you in the post-race coverage. Trengarade has fallen back from Hughes. Just some updates. You don't need to go to them. We've seen Pablo Lambueras now break away. But let's look at Barry West, though, for a moment, because John Stevens has this opportunity to try and get through at turn number 1 to start their final lap. So you're seeing Stevens close a bit more, goes to the outside, looking for that opportunity on the Bristolian Barry West. He gets a big late lunge. This is going to be a fantastic move. Down to the inside, Barry West is going to stay every step of the way at Curva de Sol, and they're going to keep themselves in this scrap. Get on going. We have to cut away, unfortunately, because Juhan Orlampi heads himself through to the ski to the boxes, heads himself to the Arquibancadas, and wins the event. But has Journo Friche stolen the title in the 11th hour, aptly in exactly the same way Moreira did to Nora Lampi just 1 season ago? Journo Friche is second and could have just taken the title. Let's go back, though, to the West Stevens battle. Stevens is through. Gerber's through as well. Big wiggle from the driver of Barry West, Sean.
Yeah, Gerber gets through. Barry just trying so hard here. Now Barry's got to be careful not to lose another spot here to Martin Blaze, who's coming to this. Stevens.
Big lunge. Ugh. Not going to happen. Oh, and he's turned. He's turned. They hold it together. Blaze lets him have the position. Good courtesy there from Martin Blaze. Barry West was greedy. He tried to go for the move. The gap was never there on Tobias Gerber. That was a desperation move from Barry West. And you can see the damage is very much there on the rear. He can't get any turn in, but Blaze will let him have it on the run to the line, surely.
What a battle to the end for that grouping, man. That was incredible. But give it to Stevens, who brought the fight there to Barry in that last lap, or those last 2 laps, and he comes away victorious with 11th place.
Yeah, very well done. And the last of the vehicles then making their way up to the line. We're going to step aside for one moment. We're going to try and find the results. We're going to try and get the calculators out. We're going to try and work out who has the title here from the circuit of Interlagos. Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace has put on another classic here. Stay with us on the Global Sim Racing channel. There is a reason why I put Interlagos as my final round of the championship in any race series ever. It doesn't matter what vehicle you put on it. It always seems to deliver some sensational racing action. And today was no exception. We saw Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace put in a beautiful display overall, but crucially enough, we did see some brilliant action. And we did see, though, towards the end, just before we head to our results, a wicked spin for Peter Konechny. We thought it was worth taking a second look at this one, Sean. It was an absolute massive one heading into the Laranjina.
There he is. And tell you what, Konechny had an interesting race today.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting's one word for it, Sean.
Yes. There are probably many words that could be used, maybe even a few adjectives, Jake.
Yes. Maybe I can put some hyperbole in there somewhere. Maybe that could certainly help out a lot of people here and there. But that is all by the by for the moment. What I can do, though, is go through classified results then from the circuit of Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace. Juha Noralampi wins by 3.3 seconds over Jerno Ferice. We are still unsure on the title picture. We think it is Nuno Moreira's. We cannot guarantee that it is Nuno Moreira's. Antti Lepisto comes home in third. Kairi Rucola in fourth, with Gerd Hofera in fifth position. Clear Hughes, the Welshman, good run from him today, up into sixth, with Steve Bycross seventh. Mr. Classics Ove Trengere could not make a pass, but he got eighth position in the end. Pablo Umbueras, a great run from him tonight. And Mark Pickford rounds out 10.
And in 11th, it was John Stevens, who had a great run today. Tobias Gerber, 12th. Barry West, 13th. Martin Blaze, he'll hang on to 14th. Keith Herner, there in 15th. Paolo Albertin finishes 16th. 17th goes to Mark Winfield. Daniel Banker, 18th. And Oliver Farley making an appearance here today. I don't think we've seen him before, Jake. 19th for him. Adnan Dizdarevic will finish 20th.
Will finish 20th indeed in the blackjack position. Position 21, one lap down, will be Fabio Guerrero. Francois Gagne in 22nd. Peter Konechny, we saw have that massive moment. Tony Teolis and Todd Herner, 24 and 25. Robert Cottle there in 26th, one last of the finishers, as the likes of Matt Wood, Daniele Gattuso, Steve Stiles, Thorsten Cowell, Adam Fraser, Nuno Moreira, champion. Not the way he'd want to be champion, though. And Robert Simpkins rounds out the field. What we are going to do, though, is we're going to hold on the championship picture just for the moment. Okay, we're going to talk to Juha Noralampi. He's standing by with Sean.
Juha, another great effort here today. Congratulations on your second win this morning. You won here a couple hours ago. Does it still feel good to win this one?
Yeah, Sean. It feels good always to win, but the taste doesn't feel so good because no points for the championship battle. For my races, I have had so bad luck, but you never know what points you can get. But I don't know. I don't like these point systems.
Yeah. Well, Jerno, an amazing race here today in Brazil. What was the most challenging aspect of this race for you? Was it the high track temperatures? Was it fighting through the traffic? Tell us what was the difficult point about this for you?
It was many things because last week I made setup Wednesday. I changed my setup from last season quite dramatically, and it was totally different than other top guys. I think I have a much less top speed, but my car was obviously very fast in one lap, and this temperature was killing my tires in the middle of the race. I don't understand what the reason was, but I couldn't go fast enough when laps from 10 to perhaps 15 was very very bad, and feels like my car was on ice, and I think that those tires was the cause of that.
Well, there in the closing laps, it looked like Journo Frisch had a chance to catch you, and a win would have really, really helped secure a chance for him to win the championship. Did you think Journo was going to actually catch you, but did you feel pretty confident about your pace?
Well, I wasn't worried about at all because I knew for the earlier race that I had the same pace or even faster. And at this temperature, I think I was a little faster if I could have pushed all the way. But guys was very, very fast also, but they were 5 seconds behind until I made some mistake there and lost almost 2 seconds, one lap. And then I just make sure that I managed to keep the gap a little under 3 seconds. And that was quite a boring race for me. But I think Nuno had a championship win because this race didn't split, and even Gerard would somehow be able to pass me. He wouldn't have enough points, so Nuno is the championship title owner this season.
Well, listen, always great to talk to you, Juha, and you get a couple weeks off here, and then we'll start again with season 2 here in 2018. Plans to return for season 2? Yes.
Well, I'm a mixed feelings now because I have been invited to Spanish Formula team to be their driver in esports, and it's a very great privilege to be there with the top guys in the world. And I just try to negotiate with those guys that what are those cars and races which I will be racing in the future with this campus racing team. And perhaps there is a skippy race some few weeks ago from now, and then there is a new IndyCar, and I will look at that too. And let's see what is coming forward. But I'm not sure if I can come to race Lotus 7090s at the next season, but I'll try.
All right, you congratulations on another victory here on GSRC and in the CTC Lotus 79 Championship. We will see you soon, my friend.
Thank you very much, and have a good holiday until the next season comes.
All right, and that was Juha Norlampi. Our sincere thanks to him. Jake, who do you want to talk to first? You want to talk to Journo, or you want to talk to Nuno first?
Well, what I will do first and foremost is congratulate the driver of Juha Norlampi for getting into Campos racing. Drivers like Borja Zazo, some of the quickest drivers in the world, are starting to think about that sort of team. Has a lot of heritage in the likes of the real side of racing, so that's very good. I can also confirm officially Nuno Moreira is your champion here in the CTC for this season. We will drag him in right now. Nuno, you are champion despite the result.
Hey, nice. Thank you very much.
Completely prepared for his championship success. Let's talk about your championship as a whole, because it started off with the victory that never was, running out of fuel at Road Atlanta. You've had to work hard. You've had to work hard in splits that you weren't necessarily going to be in, and continuously build that bank of points. Do you feel that you've really earned this championship off of a lot of hard work and determination when results maybe weren't going your way as much as you would have liked to this season?
Yeah, of course. Ending with a DNF is not what I would expect. But I think I can divide this championship in 2 stages. The first one where I think I scored a lot of points, even with those mishaps, like getting out of fuel at the first race, having it in a good position to be in P1. But then I did a few good results, I'm sure, because getting to the end with plus 50, it's something. So yeah, but it's true that the last race is you and you know were a lot faster than me, and I'm almost surprised that in the end, yeah, I still had this advantage, and I made use of it. So yeah, I'm happy, of course.
You're very happy. Are you also happy at the fact that both Ferrari drivers in Vandenberg and QC Clapp did not turn up to make a split in the field?
Oh no! I would the best scenario here would have been a split, because that way there was still an option to fight, and that's what make racing interesting. And one of the aspects that this race had was you enter in a race that you already know that the result won't matter, so the levels, concentration levels, and the fun factor of it gets reduced absolutely. So I would count and hope for a split race today.
Well, that's always very well said and done. And of course, your race today, it didn't go the way that you wanted it to. You had a big spin on the opening few laps. Just how difficult is this Interlagos circuit to deal with? And a question just to follow up after that. How are you going to celebrate?
Okay, first, yeah, Interlagos is a wonderful circuit. So you need to be very, very focused, not to overheat your tires. And in the hot conditions, it's even more tricky because it's a lot slippery. So it requires a lot of attention while driving. So I lost it there. Well, I was overtaken by Gernot. He was able to pass me at the entry of the turn 3 or 4, and then my car understeered a little bit more than I was expecting after following close to Gernot, and I went to the limit, and the car just bottomed, and I had no control. So that can happen without any. Well, it's a pity, but it did happen. Answering to the second question, hey, I'm going to celebrate. I think the celebration will be I'm going to take a few weeks off because I'm a bit tired. Was like not too much motivation to the races, but then getting to the end and still winning the championship against all this massive talent that we see in the 79A. Thank you very much, guys. It's all I can say.
A deserving champion in Nuno Moreira. Fantastic victory for him in terms of the championship. The result may not have gone the way that he wanted to, but he knew that he had the championship wrapped up before the race started. You've got the man, though, Sean, who unfortunately falls runner-up and would be hoping that there would have been 2 more Ferrari drivers there to help him out.
Cherno, you know what? I'm still going to congratulate you for a great race. It takes a lot of effort to finish these races, period. To finish second is I don't think is any disgrace at all. Congratulations on that and a hard fought season. How are you feeling about it right now? Kind of looking back on it all.
Yeah, actually, I feel pretty good. The only downside with this race was that it didn't split. So yeah, right from the start, we knew that the race wouldn't be for big points. On the other hand, yeah, I don't think I would have a chance anyway. So big congrats to Nuno for winning the championship. It's tough job to do, and he defended his title, so it's well deserved. Congrats to Juha as well for winning this race.
Did you know he was out of the race? Did you know Nuno had fallen out?
I saw him spin behind me, and I thought he must have hit the wall, but I was not sure. And yeah, 2 laps later, I saw him in the pits. So yeah, I knew that he was out.
Were you doing math in your head? I mean, did you feel like maybe you had a chance to get this title?
No, once I saw that the race didn't split, I knew that it was decided because I already was behind quite a bit in points, and yeah, I would have needed a really big score in this one.
Right. Gotcha. You know, it was really close to splitting. I mean, we were in the pre-race, we were sitting there watching it, and we saw it get to 33, and I thought, oh boy, it's really, really close, I think. And then we got down to just a couple minutes left before the session went live, and unfortunately you guys didn't hit it, but what an awesome race. You gonna take a week off, or you're gonna keep racing hard and get ready for season 2?
I'll see, of course. It's been a long season, so it's also exhausting. I'll see. There's a 12-hour race coming up next week, so maybe I'll just do that and then do a short break.
All right, buddy. Well, then we look forward to seeing you back in season 2. Congratulations again, and championship season 2. That's definitely possible, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll see. I should be back as always. So thank you guys very much for doing great broadcasts all season long. And thanks to everyone participating. Yeah, it's a great series. Bye-bye.
And goodbye to Journo Friesch, and thanks to him for always bringing us a lot of entertainment on track. And speaking of entertaining, Jake, you have caught up with Mr. Barry West.
I have, Barry. What an interesting final lap that you had. A very bold move at the Bico de Pato. Didn't quite pull off for you.
It was a bit of a pig's ear the last few laps. I lost pace just before the end. Well, the last 5 or 6 laps to go, when Mark brought us up. I mean, I was too busy fighting with John Stevens. We were fighting each other, which allowed Mark to get up. And he obviously had more legs than me. And then when John came off and touched me when he came back on, cost me big time. And that put me under pressure from Tobias and even Martin, I think, at the end. So, yeah, but that was interesting few laps. I thought John would have not bothered to take me back after slowing me out like that. But then that's racing, I suppose. He said he owed me one from Monza last year, but he hadn't paid it back yet. I'll remind him about
that. well, drivers don't normally forget many incidents. And, of course, you yourself had a very good qualifying as well. I think it's the best that we've seen from you in a very long while. So, in terms of next season, looking to try and gear forward, are you going to try and start regularly attacking the bottom end of that top 10?
Yeah. I honestly felt a top 10 was on today. I mean, I was racing Friday with Pablo, and we were just neck and neck all the time. So, I don't just setup dependent. And if you get the right setup, and these temperatures are so critical, I think I had half a pound too less in the tyres, which actually gave me more grip in the first part of the race. Then I think they wore down. I had about 90% left in the front left, which hurt me towards the end of the race. Yeah.
Well, you definitely need an extra 50p in the tank then to get yourself moving forward. But, it has been a great season. We've seen great battles up and down the field, and you yourself get a very solid result in the championship too. Top 15 championship next season?
That's the plan. Well, it always is the plan. I mean, I'm just happy to be in the top 20 most of the time. But yeah, knocking on the top 12, I think that's what it should be now. I'm getting used to the drift.
That's the plan. So the plan for Barry West is certainly in full effect. Barry West there, Bristolian Barry West, joining us there from what was a very solid run. But Sean, final thoughts on the season?
Jake, I said it during the broadcast, is really always one of the more exciting races we watch every week is this Lotus 79 CTC Championship. Can't wait to get season 2 started. Season 1 has been exciting. It's been an up and down roller coaster. We've seen some drivers fall on hard luck that generally haven't in the past. We alluded to that with Kaya Ruokola. Look for a bounce back season in season 2 for several of these drivers that weren't there, that just weren't up at the top where we were used to seeing them. And there's some new talent that we've been blessed to see. So season 2 looking up, heading north with a bullet, as they say in the radio business. So good stuff, man. And look forward to seeing you soon, Jake.
Yeah, that's certainly the same case. My sentiments exactly. That's all that we've got time for, though, I'm afraid here on the Global Sim Racing channel. So we must offer our thanks to all of you who have been watching the action, all the drivers, all the teams, the Classic Teams Championship, for their stunning battles and their decision to fly GSRC. Thank yous also have to go out to the company's equipment and software that have been involved or affiliated with this afternoon's broadcast. And we'd also like to thank Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde for the music that you have heard this afternoon. Details on how to contact them are on screen right now. And of course, speaking about contacts, if you are wishing to have your series broadcast, or you just want to find out when the next dose of sim racing action or otherwise is live, pop over to globalsimracingchannel.com or check us up on social media with the Twitter handle @GSR Channel, or catch us on Facebook as the Global Sim Racing Channel. That is it, though, for this season, but do not fret. There is always another season with drivers raring to go, chomping at the bit to go chase a title. But as always, that has been Sean Ambrose, that has been Amjad Yamin, and that has also been a man who some say thought that a favela was a brand of ice cream. That is Dougie Beard. I have been #YouMindJakeSperry, the observer of sim racing. Nuno Moreira, it was guaranteed, but my goodness, did he almost. If there was just a couple more Ferrari drivers, I'm looking at you, Michel and QC. If you were there, then maybe Moreira could have lost that title. Remember, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.